There was a statement that went out to all police officers in email saying that Amber Guyger had in fact been fired after she was brought into internal affairs, and she was fired for adverse conduct. Basically, that means anytime a Dallas police officer is arrested for a crime or does something that discredits the department, they can be fired by internal affairs. It's a completely separate investigation from a criminal investigation. So all internal affairs had to do was call her in, which they did apparently this morning, and ask her, have you been convicted of a felony in Dallas County? And if she answered yes, well then obviously they also have the arrest paperwork where she has in fact been arrested and charged in Dallas County with manslaughter. That in and of itself was enough to terminate Amber Guyger, and the recommendation goes up the chain of command. Ultimately, it's Chief Hall's decision, and she apparently decided to reverse her past statements that she couldn't or wouldn't fire Amber Guyger, and in fact terminated her this morning after a quick internal affairs hearing.
Hey guys and girls, you watched the video. I think it's a load of BS, and there hasn't been anything done more than just firing this young lady. Frankly, I think she should have been strung up myself, but that's my opinion. Anyway, we're going to read the article here, read over it. This is just an update to what happened in Dallas a couple of weeks ago. The white Dallas police officer accused of shooting her black neighbor to death after entering into his apartment has been fired from the force. Officer Amber Guyger, who has said she mistook the neighbor's apartment for her own and thought the 26-year-old Botham Jean was a burglar, was terminated during a hearing Monday with Police Chief Renee Hall. The Dallas Police Department said in a news release posted on Twitter. I think she should have been fired immediately when it first happened. There again, that's kind of my opinion, but I think it should have been done immediately. Anyway, an internal investigation revealed Guyger engaged in adverse conduct when she was arrested for manslaughter 3 days after the September 6th shooting of Jean, who lived in the fourth floor apartment right above her, the statement said. The post, this was where she said that she accidentally went in the wrong apartment. She thought she was in hers and thought it was a burglar and shot him. Now, she's one floor above her, and she didn't notice the red carpet out in front of the door or anything else. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Anyway, to go on. The posting did not specify the nature of the adverse conduct, but Dallas Police spokesman Sergeant Warren Mitchell later described it in a written response as conduct which adversely affects the morale or efficiency of the department, or which has a tendency to adversely affect, lower, destroy public respect and confidence in the department or the officer. When an officer has been arrested for a crime, adverse conduct is often cited in the officer's termination, Mitchell said. Guyger, who was hired in November 2013, has been out on bond and remained on administrative leave while facing manslaughter charges. Her continued employment has been a sore point for Jean's relatives and protesters who have argued that she should be fired and charged with murder. I agree 100%. Hall said last week she couldn't fire Guyger for fear of interfering with a criminal investigation into the shooting. That sounds like a bloated bull to me, but anyway, Lee Merritt, a lawyer hired by the family, said in a statement Jean's relatives were satisfied with the explanation and with Guyger's firing. We see it as an initial victory, well received on the day Botham Jean is laid to rest in his native country in St. Lucia, the statement said, adding that Jean's family and lawyers are committed to getting a proper murder indictment, conviction, and appropriate sentencing. I sincerely hope they do. Anyway, according to court documents, Guyger, 30, was still in uniform after her shift when she returned on September 6th to the Southside Flats apartment where she lived. She told investigators she put her key in the apartment door, which was unlocked and slightly ajar, and it opened. Inside, the lights were off, and she saw a figure in the darkness that cast a large silhouette across the room. Guyger drew her firearm, the affidavit said, gave verbal commands that were ignored by Jean, and then fired 2 shots. One of them fatally hit Jean in the torso. When Guyger called 911 and was asked where she was, she returned to the front door to see she was in the wrong unit, according to the affidavit. Now, Obviously, she knew she wasn't where she was supposed to be because she had to go look at the door to make sure which one she was at. If she thought it was her apartment, why didn't she tell 911 her address? Makes sense to you? Does to me. Anyway, uh, Merritt and Jean's relatives have questioned Guyger's version of the events, though they haven't ascertained the motive. An affidavit for a search warrant states that Guyger and Jean encountered each other at the door to his apartment instead of having an exchange across the room. After the shooting, Guyger's blood was drawn to be tested for alcohol and drugs, according to Hall. Authorities have not released the results. John, a graduate of Harding University in Arkansas, worked for PricewaterhouseCoopers in Dallas and was known for his volunteerism and love of singing. Dallas County District Attorney Faith Johnson said the case would be taken to a grand jury and that a more serious charge of murder was possible. She should have been charged with murder to start with. They initially charged her with manslaughter, and I don't know if that charge is still, apparently that charge must still be there, but she should be charged with murder. I mean, just from the tidbits that have been given out over the last couple of weeks, her statement is a load of bull. She literally killed a man. She murdered him, period, in a conversation. Anyway, Dallas Mayor Mike Rawlings said in a statement Monday the firing of Guyger was the right decision in the interest of justice for Botham Jean and the citizens of Dallas. Okay, you've heard my opinion. Now let me hear yours. Be sure and leave something in the comments below. And hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And this is Constitutionality News. Oh, that's too much of a mouthful. Just call me Can. See ya, and we're out of here. Bye, y'all.